Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Captain Martinez, and today we're going to be going over one of the most common things I see in the clinic as an Army physical therapist, and that is running issues. Now, the biggest thing that I find when people get injured, either through running or through a history of running, is that one, they have a common denominator, and that is not warming up properly. Most of the time they're using the first mile or the first half mile as their warm up, and while that's not necessarily bad, right, there's ways that we can improve that. And so today I'm gonna be going over how to make running warm-ups super simple, right? And the goal for today is to make sure that one, you get out of injury, two, you're not fearful of wasting 20 minutes of your time, doing a warm-up, and three, that we get you faster, stronger, and better. Okay, so we're going to get started with going over the 3 phases of what I think every warm-up should consist of. Phase 1 is all about activation, circulation, getting that blood flow going, right? I'm going to be showing you a patient of mine, Charles. He's a good friend, and he's recovering from an ACL injury. And he's going to be going over what I put him through to warm up for his agility drills for that day. Now, you don't necessarily need to do all of these exercises, right? I want you to kind of pick and choose what things have worked really good for you. Things that you feel like are a waste of your time, feel free not to do them. So we're going to go over the first thing here, and I'm going to have him jog. Now, jogging is great because, again, it's the movement pattern that you're going to be doing for your runs, except at a lower intensity, right? We're just trying to increase blood flow, like I said, to all those working tissues. Next, what we're going to have him do is some toe heel walks. We're going to start from the bottom up. We're going to activate all those lower leg muscles, those calves, that anterior tibialis, right? The one that attaches to your shin and pulls on your shin. So if you have a lot of shin splints, right, you want to make sure that you're getting blood flow to those tissues and waking them up prior to doing any of the running. Now, if you still have running issues and shin splints, we'll go over that in a future video. For these toe heel walks, you want to make sure that you go all the way up in your tippy toes, walk, 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 walk. Instead, if you don't have a lot of space, you can do 20 heel raises, 20 toe raises against the wall, and going through that full range of motion. The next exercise that we're going to be going over are walking lunges with the twist. Not only does this help engage, Charles's glutes, his quads, his hip flexors, but it also improves some of that mid-back mobility. A lot of the times we are cooped up inside due to the nature of the job, right? And so our thoracic spine, our mid-back, tends to become very super tight. And when it's so hypomobile, right, and not able to, let your spine rotate, what's going to happen is that you're going to come up with that, excess movement somewhere else. And usually that's the hips, that's the low back. And so this is great for helping with getting that mid-back mobility. What you want to do with these exercises is only about 10 yards or 5 to 10 repetitions at the most, right? You're doing something to wake up the tissues. You're not trying to do a whole workout. Now, phase 2 of this running model is all about dynamic stretching. I'm sure you've heard of static stretching. I'm sure you've heard of dynamic stretching. Maybe you don't know what it is. So static stretching is basically your normal run-of-the-mill, bend over, touch your toes, stretch out those hamstrings for about 10 seconds to 30 seconds, right? Do that, switch sides, switch exercise. And while that's fine, right, research has shown that dynamic stretching actually helps improve performance, right? Or doesn't reduce your performance such as static stretching does. Not only that, but it lets you kind of ease your way into that elongated movement, right? So static stretching, you're stretching all the way to end range as much as you can. Dynamic stretching, you can kind of start slow, slowly build up your range of motion. And so these next 3 exercises are things that I have Charles do because one, they're going to hit the major muscles that he struggles with for mobility. But 2, it also is going to hit all of the muscle groups that I want him to hit because today we're going over, again, change of direction and sprinting. And so the first exercise that I have him do is some knee to chest walks, right? This is going to help stretch out his hip flexors, stretch out his glutes. You're going to stand on one leg, pull the opposite leg up to your chest, hold for a split second, and let it come down. The other thing that's really great for, some of these exercises is that it's single-legged. Now, when you do things that are single-legged, it trains your mind, it trains your body to be able to withstand kind of these single leg forces, right? And we know that running is single leg hopping one after the other. And so by doing this and practicing on your balance, right, you're going to be training those muscles to kind of help with that balance during running versus relying on the tissues like your ligaments and your tendons to absorb that force. Now, the next thing that I'm having him do is some forward and lateral leg swings. All this is again, standing on one leg and swinging your leg forward and backwards. If you have trouble, right, with balance, then you can slowly work your way to no balance, or if you want to go through a larger range of motion, you can hold onto a wall like I have him doing here and go through a larger range of motion from side to side or forward and back. This not only is going to help improve all of that hip mobility, but it's like I said, going to help with his balance. The last exercise that I have him do for this dynamic stretch part is the world's greatest stretch. This stretch is going to help target his hips, his spine, his shoulders, just basically everything. And that's why I love doing this stretch. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take a big lunge forward and drop your hip down. A lot of people like to drop their backside knee down to the ground as well. Try to keep that knee actually straight so that way you can stretch that hip flexor on that side as well. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lower the opposite side shoulder to the front hip and stretch out the same side shoulder all the way up into the sky. As you do this, you want to hold for 2 or 3 seconds, really feel, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, come back in and pop back up. Again, you're going to do about 10 yards or 8 to 10 repetitions of all of these exercises. Now, the last phase, again, this is something that is commonly missed, and that's this phase of neuromuscular activation. Again, a lot of people stretch, they get straight into their warm-up, and then they don't worry about improving their balance or their coordination or priming those fast twitch fibers, especially for people that are doing tempo-based runs or their 2-mile runs, right? You want to train your neuromuscular, your motor control. And so some of the exercises that I have him doing here for that aspect of the warm-up are walking single leg deadlifts. This is great because not only is it going to improve his hamstring flexibility. With ACLs, they tend to have a lot of hamstring over engagement or lack of thereof. And so this is not only going to kind of warm up those hamstrings, but it's also going to help with his balance. For that walking single leg deadlift, all you're going to do is you're going to stand on one leg, reach down, trying to keep your back nice and straight, come right back up. Your goal is to try to keep your hips level. If your hips start to kind of rotate outwards or down, or your back starts to, arch, those are some key signs that either one, that you lack the hip mobility, or two, you lack the balance and the motor control to kind of dissociate between, your low back and your hips. And so again, those are some things that we'll definitely go over on this channel to improve on, but try your best and see what you can do. The next drill that we do is the karaoke drill. I love the karaoke drill because it's going to help with his lateral coordination and his hip mobility. A lot of the times, right, running is very sagittal plane, right, forward and backwards. And so by going laterally, we can help kind of open those tissues a lot larger than what our body is going to be demanded of when we're doing our running. And so all you're doing here is you're going, putting one foot forward, and then that same foot as it comes back around behind your foot, behind your other leg. Excuse me. And when you do this, you can choose to do either small, quicker karaoke drills, or you can do kind of an elongated version and go for a longer distance. The last exercise that I have him do are skater hops. These are drills that are going to help kind of with that landing and that motor control to, withstand forces when you're hopping from one foot in the other. And so this is going to help prime his glutes, prime all those stabilizing muscles. What he's going to do is he's just going to hop from one leg to the other, really focusing on that landing mechanics, knee over toe, and going back and forth. If this doesn't feel comfortable, right, all you have to do is, just jumping jacks. You can do jump rope. You can just jump in place. You can do 5 vertical jumps, right? Anything that's going to help improve your landing mechanics. like I said, 8 to 10 repetitions, all that's going to be. With that being said, that is the simplified version of a 3-phase warm-up. You don't have to make things hard, guys. Just be consistent, and I promise you, you're going to reduce injury and improve your performance. If you feel like this video has helped you, please share this routine with your team, with your running group, with your buddy, battle buddy. I want you guys to stay focused out there, stay prepared, keep moving forward, and I'll see you in the next video.